Hello, this is DarkKnight124 here, and I'm doing a cell analogy for my biology project, and my analogy is a restaurant, so let's get started. So, this right here are the walls, and the walls right here represent the cell membrane because it is the initial protection for the cell, and only things small and nonpolar can get through it. Since I am too big and I am not a ghost, I have to go through the doors. So the doors are the protein channels because they let things that are bigger and polar across them to and from the cell via facilitated diffusion or active transport. So moving into the restaurant, here is the waiting area for the restaurant. So it's around here. So moving into the restaurant, we have these witches, which are our waitresses, and our waitresses are the endoplasmic reticulum because they transport food to other customers, like the endoplasmic reticulum transports proteins to other organelles. Alright, so if you can get out of my face there. Anyways, the mitochondria is electricity because it powers the restaurant, and the restaurant cannot function without electricity, like how mitochondria makes ATP and to fuel other organelles, and they cannot function without that. Alright, so let's see what happens if we turn the lights off. So it gets really dark in here, the customers can't really enjoy the food, they can't see. So let's just turn that back on. And let's head over here. So over here is the restroom. So just push this button here, move in. That's the urinal. And those are the lights for restroom. And then in here is the stalls. And the restroom is the lysosomes because it is where you get rid of waste, like how lysosomes detoxify poisons and break down malfunctioning organelles. Alright, so this is the toilet, the lid. So let's move out of here. Push this. So that was the restroom, and it was stinky in there, so I wanna go to the kitchen, which is staff only. So let's get in here, close the fence, and let's see. Hey Joe. Hi Bob, hey Joe. So Bob is a cook, and he represents the ribosomes because they make food, like how ribosomes make protein. So this is the kitchen, this is Bob and Joe's environment. And Joe right here is another cook, but he represents the Golgi apparatus because he prepares the food before it's taken to the customers, like how the Golgi apparatus packages proteins for transport. So Joe and Bob have done a marvelous job in making a lot of food, and the food in this case is protein because they're both necessary in a restaurant and a cell, and neither of them would be themselves without it. So a restaurant wouldn't be a restaurant without food, and a cell wouldn't be a cell without protein. So Joe and Bob have done a marvelous job in making a variety of food and so much food. So this is their area, which is the kitchen, but let's move upstairs. Close this and move back a little. So this is the manager's office, and the manager's office is nucleus because it contains both the manager and the original recipes, like how a nucleus houses the nucleolus and contains DNA. So let's get a little information on the manager. So the manager is the nucleolus because he hires new cooks, like how the nucleus makes ribosomes. So let's go behind the manager because oh, there's that chest. Anyways, what's in here? So this is the original recipe, and the original recipes are the DNA because it has instructions on how to make the food, and it's always kept in the manager's office, like how DNA has instructions on how to make proteins, and it's always kept in the nucleus. So the DNA is always kept in the manager's office, but the cooks need some way to access a recipe to make the protein. So let's see how they do it. If we go back down into the kitchen, oh, they have their own little chest. What's in here? Oh, it is the copies of the recipes, and the copies are RNA because they both aren't the original, and they both have instructions on how to make protein or food. Last but certainly not least, after this is the up here, and this is the trapdoor to get to the manager's office, and this represents the nucleus pores because it lets newly hired cooks and copies of recipes go through it, like how the nucleus pores lets ribosomes and RNA to exit the nucleus. And with this concludes the tour of my mine restaurant and my analogy of the cell. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. See ya.